here before. Come on up here to the mic just so everybody can see you and know who are. Thanks, Jennifer. So we'll get started here. First, I'll take a motion to close executive session and to reopen the public meeting. Is there a motion? Trustee Golio, second Trustee Sullivan. Discussion, all in favor? Meeting will come to order. We'll start with a pledge of allegiance to the flag and a prayer by the mayor. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The opening prayer is a tradition of the Dobbs Ferry Board meetings. It's a part of our preparation as trustees, but it's also a great way to get started with an opening statement and some reflections to remind us of important marks in our country's history or world events which have taken place that are meaningful or we should give some thought to, and which help and remind us of why we are gathered here together, discussing and debating and working together as a community to make Dobbs Ferry a better place. So on the occasion of the first board meeting after Thanksgiving, and for my last prayer as mayor, I simply want to say how grateful and lucky, thankful we should all feel to live in Dobbs Ferry. Grateful for the beauty that surrounds us, living in the lower Hudson River Valley, the Palisades, the river that runs by. Thankful for all the wonderful people that work for the village, the office staff, the police officers, the DPW workers, the court and library staff, recreation staff. Grateful for all our volunteer fire and ambulance and EMS members and their families who are there to help us when we need it the most. Thankful for our great school system and the administrators, teachers, and Board of Ed who help support our children's education and development and grow to become better citizens. Thankful for all the volunteers who give their time back to the village in a positive way on committees, coaches, fundraisers, whatever it is you do, and many more. I'm thankful for all of you that are here tonight, all the trustees and residents who really care. Collectively making Dobbs Ferry a better place, we are all truly lucky and grateful to be in such a place. Amen. Amen. Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Village Hall. This is a regular meeting. Well, maybe not regular for some of us, but it's a regular meeting of the Board of Trustees for Tuesday, November 28, 2017. Just a quick little recap of the agenda tonight. We're going to start with a special presentation by the board. I'm not exactly certain how that's going to go, but I've been told just go with the flow. So we'll do that. And following the presentation, we will reopen a public hearing related to the renaming of a street. We'll give a little bit of background on that. Following the public hearing, anybody who cares to address the board for courtesy of the floor, anything on the agenda or not on the agenda or anything that's on your mind, that'll be the time to do it. We ask that you come to the microphone, state your name and address for the record, and try to keep your comments to 3 minutes if you can. We appreciate that. And then we'll get to matters requiring action. So, actually I'm going to give a presentation tonight to start, and I'm going to come down there to do it. And then, as I said, we'll kind of go with the flow after that. So bear with me for a second. I'm going to make a move down there. Well, we've been saying goodbye to a few people on the way the last couple of months, and there's been changes, and change is good. And tonight I'm gonna, as mayor on behalf of the board, gonna recognize somebody who will be moving on. Tonight is Deputy Mayor Vic Golio's last meeting. And I want to just say a few things, and I'm gonna ask Vic to come down and join me here if he can. While he's making his way down, I want to get some of the mundane things out of the way. Vic has been a trustee of the Village of Dobbs Ferry since 2009. So he has served for 8 consecutive years, which is a long, long time. He has served a number of positions on the board as the liaison to the Budget Committee. That was one of the things that Vic got into in a big way, and really made a major contribution. And we talked a lot about the Budget Committee and what they've done. liaison to the Chamber of Commerce, Downtown Improvement Committee, was a liaison to the Energy Task Force early on. A number of other things that he served on, the Ethics Board, and a few other things that we get thrown on when we first get started. He also worked very closely with the DPW and liaising with them, and I want to just recognize Vic, and I've done this before, but the work that he did in helping us during contract periods with the unions, which is, you know, not easy. Those were some difficult times, and Vic got very much into that, and of course representing the village, but also trying to find the right balance that would be right for everybody involved and all parties involved. He did just a tremendous job in that. And of course, he has served as deputy mayor for the last 2 years, since 2014. Vic is was born and raised in Dobbs Ferry. His family's here tonight. His great dad, Vic, Ducky Golio, and Mom Paula, been here for a long time. He's a very, very lucky man to have such a beautiful wife, Georgette, who's here, beautiful children, Olivia and Grace. I met Vic in 2009. We actually knew of each other, but we didn't know each other. And we met really because at that time, neither did either one of us know, but we were each in our sort of groups that we hung out with, a little concerned about what was happening in the village and the direction of things. And we're starting to just, you know, be thinking about, well, what can we do to get involved? What can we do to change things? And so I, you know, was talking with Kathy Kay and a few others, and, you know, we kind of heard that Vic was talking with some other people, and was thinking about. And I never forget the night that I bumped into Vic. It was at Doubledays, and it was a big event for course, right? Doubledays, of course. And I think it was a football. It was after a football game or something, and we were all there, and I saw Vic on the other side of the room. We were looking at each other, and we knew we had to come together. And we came together, and I remember, you know, hey, Vic, how are you doing? I'm Marty. We didn't have to introduce each other, really. But I think, sounds like we need to talk. And we talked. And we got together and had a number of meetings. And I'm going to tell you, you wouldn't believe some of the characters that we had initially with us. You would not believe it. And I'm not going to go there. But we decided, Vic and Kathy, myself, that we were going to make a run for it. And Sean Horsfield, who was a former police officer, joined us along the way. And we went out and basically formed Vision, Action, Progress. And we worked really hard on our campaign. Man, we worked hard. We went to meet and greets where nobody showed up. 2 people showed up, a lot of people showed up. We knocked on doors. It was so funny walking around with Vic because he had a story about every house. And we would be walking up the homes, and Vic would go, if a certain person answers the door, we should run. We need to run. But we had a lot of fun, and we had a lot of great stories, and we shared a lot of great stories. And I would not have done this looking back without Vic. He has been an unbelievably great trustee. There's nobody that I work with on the board, and everybody's so great. And we've all been around for a long time, most of us, but there's nobody who has their finger on the pulse of what's going on in Dobbs Ferry, like Vic does. And I don't say that from a local's perspective. I mean that, you know, we make some very important decisions. Boards make very important decisions that impact people's lives. And so it's not just, and Vic made some decisions that actually didn't go well with the old timers, if you will, locals. But he was always very reasoned and so smart and so thoughtful. He was never quick to jump in or respond right away or talk too much, unlike somebody else I know. And that's why we were a good team, and that's why he was such a good fit. I borrowed this from somebody else. He had really quiet evaluation of everything that we took on, and he was such a great and important part of the team. He was an outstanding trustee, and you know, he is really, I'm telling you, he's really going to be missed. And we as citizens should be extremely grateful and lucky that you served as a trustee for Dobbs Ferry is a much, much better place because of it. Personally, for me, Vic is a foxhole play. And that's just not just a guy thing anymore. Because if you don't have women in your foxhole, you are really in trouble these days. So, but Vic is the kind of friend that you got a problem, and you call him anytime, the night, the day, he's there. And that's another quality of Vic. As mayor, on behalf of the Board of Trustees, on the entire board and Village Vic, I want to congratulate and thank you for your service. Personally, I just want to say hello. I know the board is very much involved in this. The administrator did a fabulous job putting this all together, but a little bit of history, including the certificate of appreciation from the mayor and the board, and some, well, we were a lot younger back then. But, good stuff. So,
Vic hasn't aged at all.
So, I know that, we'll get some pictures, but, I know that you got a couple things, maybe you got some family here, and give you a chance to say a few words.
Thank you very much for that, Art, and feeling is certainly mutual. You know, I really can't believe it's been 8 years already. A lot has happened in this 8 years. When I started out as a trustee, I was single, no house, no kids, no I can proudly say that during my 8 years, I was lucky enough to meet my wife, Georgette, whom I'd like to thank along with my kids, Olivia and Grace, and my parents, Vic and Paula, for all of their support through the years. Could not have done this without you. Thank you. One of the funny things I'll certainly miss on a bi-weekly basis and then some is Olivia always saying to me in the morning, "Daddy, do you have another meeting tonight?" So honey, I can actually say, no. It's been a great 8 years. We accomplished a lot. Vision, Action, Progress was our slogan, and I believe we delivered. Growing up, basically being third generation Dobbs Ferry, and knowing that this was the place where I would stay and start a family, is really what gave me the incentive to run back my networking. You too. The decisions I've made, that we make as a board, for me has always been how we can better the future of Dobbs Ferry. My kids will go through the same school system, play in the same parks as I did. No decision that has ever been taken lightly, and believe me, it is not easy. I've been fortunate enough to have met a lot of new people and made a lot of new friends. I want to thank my current and past board members for all of their hard work and how we work together. I wish the incoming mayor and trustees the best of luck. It's a tough job, but I know you guys are up to the task. I'd also like to thank all of the village staff for all they do. The men and women of our DPW, police, fire, ambulance, they do a phenomenal job for Dobbs Ferry. Never underestimate what these people do for you on a daily basis. I'd like to thank my original running mates, Hartley, Kathy, and Sean. I'll never forget our first meeting, actually at somebody's house. I walked away saying, why would I run? But then we met again, started talking, and then it began 8 years ago, going door to door, neighborhood to neighborhood. A lot of fun in the process. And Hartley, with us being the last two of that group, I truly want to thank you for your leadership, your dedication, and your friendship. The off hours, the weekends, you always working on the village's behalf. Nobody really knows the amount of time this man has put into this job, except of course you have. Thank you, Hartley. It means a lot. Everything you've done, you really paved the way. Thank you to all the residents for your support. I look forward to helping out in other ways I can, and look forward to opportunities. So thank you.
Hartley, if you would stay down there, please.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Liz.
Good job.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Lower that.
I first met Hartley, actually a couple days after I arrived in the village. We worked from back home and came together. And 7 years ago, I joined him on the Board of Trustees. And in watching Hartley through all these years, I learned a lot. I learned that being mayor is not easy. It can be very messy. Because you have to work with trustees who don't always agree with you, or who take opposite sides on various issues, or engage you in lively debates. But as Hartley always says, it's all good, because that's what goes along with running a village. I also watched him and learned what it takes to be mayor. Strong leadership, compassion, understanding, a willingness to compromise and come to consensus, and above all, a commitment to putting your personal issues aside and putting what's right for Dobbs Ferry first. I also learned that there is no one who works harder, is more dedicated, or loves Dobbs Ferry more than Hartley. Two presentations to the mayor. The first one will be the certificate, which you're probably going to have to lift this. Yeah, sure, go ahead. We'll do this one first. And the certificate reads, the Board of Trustees awards the certificate of appreciation to Hartley S. Connect with grateful recognition on behalf of the Village of Dobbs Ferry for serving as village mayor from 2009 to 2017 and village trustee from 2003 to 2006. And trustee liaison to the following: Board of Education, Budget Committee, Chamber of Commerce, Downtown Improvement Committee, Energy Task Force, Facilities Committee, Ferry Festa Committee, Fire Department, Historic Hudson River Valley, Historic Hudson River Towns, Housing Board of Appeals, Library Board, Police Department, Town Arts Council, and the Tenants Committee. In testimony, whereof the undersigned have affixed their signatures. So that's that one. And our second presentation is to kind of help you with your transition from being mayor to being a civilian. So you can use this.
Got a bottle?
No. You can use this as a goal to kind of, open and close your evening meals with. You'll be having them with her. Or, when you're watching on Tuesday night, there's nothing to watch the Board of Trustees, you can use this to kind of help play with us. So,
Thank you so much.
it's a commemorative gathering.
Thank you so much. I don't know what to say. I had something written down.
Probably here.
Where it is now.
Probably here. Could it be up here?
Donna, that was fantastic. Thank you. And I do remember when we first met in those days, trying to keep elections in March that we worked together on. I am honored to serve with these people and the prior people I served with, and to have been mayor of Dobbs Ferry for 8 years. I did work really, really hard to try to be the best mayor that I could for all the residents. Vision, Action, Progress is, to me, a great story. And it's kind of the story of the little guy. And shows that if you have a positive vision, and you're willing to work hard, and you're willing to stand up for what's right and the greater good of everybody, you can get a lot accomplished. And we got a lot of accomplishments, and we don't have to go through all that list. There'll be other times to do that in reflection. But It's been a great run, and I have been just been great working with all of you, and Nicole, getting to know you better, and I know you're going to be such a great trustee. And I appointed Larry Paterno, so I'm real happy he's here, and he's going to be here for hopefully a little longer. And Donna, I've known for such a long time, and I've really learned a lot from her. And we didn't agree on everything at all, but we agreed on a lot of stuff, though. It's just been great working with you. Thank you so much. Vic, I've talked enough about, and Vinny is, talk about a cool, calm person on our board. He brings that, and of course, I remember we brought you on in the first place.
Yes.
Sort of, we definitely never saw eye on that, but you know, our daughters have a very good relationship. Gabby and our daughter Molly, and it was funny. I always used to say, "So what did she talk about?" They kept that thing completely aside. One of the things I'm most proud of is governing and leading in a nonpartisan way. And I don't say bipartisan, I say nonpartisan, because I'm not a member of any political party. And to me, it was about trying to get people to work together, whether you're Democrat or Republican or whatever you want to call yourself. Because I knew what it had been like before. I'd served on some boards before where the attitude was us versus them, and nothing ever got done. And so I'm really proud of that. We worked together. You know, I look back and say, you know, a 7-0 approval, I look back and say, you know, the 4-3 approvals were the best decisions we ever made. And because you had to work so hard to get consensus, and where the minority view was pretty strong still, but knowing that the majority rules at the end of the day, but you really had to work together and try to find, and you ended up finding points in the resolution and whatever it was that you're passing that made the whatever you were a much stronger and better position. And that's what doing business that way and finding consensus does, and that's what this board has done over the last 8 years. And so we move on. I want to also wish the new incoming member Bob and Laura and Christy all the best of luck. You're going to love this. You're going to really love it. It is not going to be easy. You'll find that out when you get here. But good for you guys for stepping up, and I'm so happy you won. You were positive, and there was a reason why you guys won in a big way. Thank God. Strong message there. But I remember when we were celebrating after November of 2009. Again, that double days. I mean, a lot of people there, and it was a big deal. And I remember Brian Monahan, who worked with us, and a great former mayor, a Democrat, formed the Dobbs-Ferry Party and part of our, sort of independent run there. But he turned to me and he said, Arlen, you're going to love this. This is the greatest job in the world. And he was right. It's been a great job, and I'm really glad I did it. It's the things in life. In life, it's the things you don't do that you regret. So I'm really glad I did this. I'm glad I had an opportunity to work with these people. I'm glad I could set, I hope, an example for people to follow. And I know I set a good example for my family about what public service means and giving back to your community. So thank you all. Thanks very much for coming tonight.
Steve is making me do this. Now.
So we hold these up, or you want to?
These are two different
Oh.
Now, and
Awesome.
you're gonna fight over it, but one has one has the other.
That's cool.
I'll take it.
This is from DPW.
get your.
Where are all the people that usually show up and complain? Maybe complain tonight.
I should hold up your sweatshirts and one of them.
Or it's.
Come on down, Don.
And one more thing before, I want to thank my beautiful wife, Abby, who put up with a lot over the last 8 years, and I would not have been able to do this without you, Abby, and actually, she would be a much better mayor than me. So, Bob can get you a run, but you guys got to consider her next. And Ian, my son, oldest son, who just, boy, you talk about somebody who loves Dobbs Ferry, I hope one day you can afford to come here. But thank you so much, Ian. You've been an inspiration to me, and you've done so much. A lot of people know what you've done to help this village out, so you've been a great example too. So thank you, guys.
Okay, great, moving on. Thanks, everybody. So we'll try to get through everything as quickly as we can here for the remainder of the meeting. Public hearing. I'll take a motion to open the public hearing for the purpose of consideration of amending the official village map, renaming Livingstone Avenue. Is there a motion? Trustee Taylor, second trustee Golio, all in favor? Okay, this public meeting hearing is open. Just a little bit of background. This is the third public hearing that we've had on this particular issue. We actually had several other meetings where we had discussed this, but essentially the issue here is that there are two streets in Dobbs Ferry, Livingstone and Livingstone, that are very similar. Livingstone is down at Rivertown Square Park, and we over the last many months and weeks, we've got a lot of stories and appeals from residents about deliveries being made to the wrong streets. We had an issue where an EMS call went to the wrong address, and it just seemed that this issue wasn't getting any better, it was getting worse. And so we felt, with input from a number of residents and the village administrator and the building department and the police chief and everybody that would be involved in these kind of things, that we should consider changing the name of the street. At our last meeting, we actually did come to a unanimous decision that we did want to move forward on this, but we hadn't yet heard from enough people about what should we name this street. We had, put some we had asked, right, could we get some suggestions, and we actually did it by the, before the last meeting, we had a number of suggestions, and a name that kept popping up a lot was Hamilton. And most of you probably know, if you don't even need to be a history buff, that Hamilton is a great American story, and Hamilton spent a lot of time here in Dobbs Ferry, has a footprint here in Dobbs Ferry in the Revolution, and it really would be a good fit. And so we kind of took that input as a board, and we all felt, yeah, Hamilton, great name. Who wouldn't want to live or have a business on Hamilton Street? So we made that decision last week, or last time we met, I think, and we communicated that in the public hearing. And but we had not noticed the public hearing for using this street, Hamilton Street. So we had to go another round. So that's why we're here tonight. This is a public hearing, so we will take any comments that anybody has regarding this issue. And again, I want to be clear. I think we're pretty clear about the direction we want to go. I do want to recognize that we have gotten input, and even very recently, we've taken input all along the way from residents that are in favor and not in favor of this. And there've been good reasons on both sides, but the board, in going through all that input, has decided that it would be in the best interest of the majority and the village overall and that neighborhood to change the name of the street. I do want to recognize that we did also receive recently some correspondence from Lee Constantine. We did get your letter, and I think we had seen a lot of that before. So we really appreciate, we understand your view on this, and we appreciate how you submitted that, and we do want you to know that we did consider your concerns and your issues on this. Certainly anybody is welcome to speak on this. I would just ask that that it be something different that maybe we haven't heard before. But if that's not the case, then I think we're ready to move on. But it's a public hearing, so you're entitled to speak. Patty.
Patty Steinschneider, 329 Broadway. I always think it's unfortunate if no one comes up and says something. So I am disappointed. I thought that Vicky had a great idea, naming it Patty's Way. But I understand that, that wouldn't necessarily work. So I think Hamilton's a great choice. I think it's, it's local and it's a very good idea. Terrific.
Thanks, Pat. Anybody else care to? Lee? Okay.
Good evening, Lee Constantine. I just wanted to ask, so when you said that you got a lot of input, did you get it from like the community people for Hamilton? Who were the people that made submissions for them?
I can't give names. I think we got 4 or 5, some email correspondence that came in, and people just that walked up to some trustees on the street and said, hey, what do you think about Hamilton? The last public hearing meeting that we had, I think there were several people that came up and recommended Hamilton. Nancy Del Marico was one of them. So, yeah, there were a number. There wasn't 100 people, but there were enough like that.
Because I know we talked about, board members even said it should be named after a woman. I think Donna said that too, so I know there were some suggestions,
Yeah.
and I was just wondering how that won out, I guess
Okay.
is what I want to say. I know when I was here the last time I talked about that, we had been getting mail from, when it was, the chart house, and I think maybe once or twice, Half Moon, and I was talking like that a while ago, and I just wanted to say that a few days ago, just got something, it says Half Moon, 1 High Street, Dobbs Ferry, 10522. However that gets on that, Stanley, I don't know. It happens all the time.
Really?
Yeah. And it's happened before, like I said, when we used to go there, we'd be like, we have some free dinner because we would stack their mail, so maybe, I have no idea why, but, one day we got mail.
I think that's a reasonable request on your part. I would keep at that.
Yeah, like one day we got mail, it was a completely different zip code, completely different town. The addresses were no way the same, such as this, so it just happens all the time, but I understand that it's severe, but hopefully it won't create any worse issues. Thank you.
Hopefully not. But
And thank you for reading the letter and considering it. Thank you.
yes, thank you, Lee. Anybody else care to make any comments in the public hearing? Okay, then trustees, anything further to say on this at all? No. Okay, then take a motion to close the public hearing. Trustee Sullivan, the second, trustee Taylor, discussion, all in favor? That passes with 6 ayes. So we'll get to taking some action on this when we get to matters requiring action. Right now, we'll take courtesy to the floor. Anybody care to say anything else? Or yes, Bob?
Good evening, Mayor, members of the board. I just want to say a few words about Mayor and the Deputy Mayor and my relationship over the last many, many years, even before, you were on the Board of Trustees. You worked in the village, recreation and things of that nature. And I also met Vic at the Holdings. So, this is coincidence, or is that a prerequisite to be mayor? But anyway, I've worked with you over the last many years, and especially the Budget Committee and Nominating Committee and some of the others. And, I look at what happened. I mean, there were 3, I think. You guys had so many major accomplishments, which is to your credit. And I can't go through them all tonight, but I wanted to do a few. And one is, restoring number 2 is revitalizing the downtown. And number 3 is restoring fun in Dobbs Ferry. So when you look back 8 or 9 years ago, the Budget Committee actually started a few months. There was a group of us that got together because of the financial condition that the village was in. And we wanted to see what we could do to help out with that situation. The election took place, you folks came in, both Vic, as trustee at the time, and Audley as mayor, joined with us, came to the meeting, participated, listened to all of us on the committee and the ideas we had. And there's very few, and I've said this before at these meetings, there's very few villages, there's very few mayors that would allow that to happen within their village, a citizens' budget committee. And I think it really worked tremendously well. Vic, I don't know if there's anybody that knows the village better than Vic and his family that actually helped build Dobbs Ferry. So, that was very beneficial to us. We had many meetings, we hashed out many things, you were always open to suggestions, and I think the proof is in, what has happened since then, that we didn't have to go over that 2% cap. We stayed well under 8 years in a row. And now we're great financial footing moving forward into the future. So we need to thank you for your hard work on that. As far as the downtown, I remember there's 30-plus stores that were empty downtown. You go through the downtown now, there may be 3 or 4 at the most, but they're constantly being filled. And I think that's made a huge difference in Dobbs Ferry. People want to come to Dobbs Ferry to live. It has a great name in the real estate industry now. And the third thing is fun. I don't know if some of you remember, there were no fireworks. I think at some point they had been eliminated. I forget when it was. But we brought back the fireworks. We have a beautiful new waterfront park. We have many other activities happening in the village. And that's a tribute to both of you. And I was talking to the family when I came in. Actually, it was like the best greeting I ever had at the board meeting. They got a hug from all the kids and the ladies.
I promise you, Bob, you won't be getting any of those.
But I also want to recognize the First Lady, who's been a wonderful addition to Dobbs Ferry. She's done a wonderful job in the senior program and so many other things. And Vic and I had such a good relationship. We started out in the budget group. He decided to move in with his bride, Georgette, in the neighborhood. So we love having them there. The 2 kids are adorable, wonderful family.
Thank you.
So I really want to thank you for when you were talking about working hard, I know how hard you work. People don't realize how much time the mayor and the trustees put in on this position. And I know there are times that you suffer the slings and arrows from certain folks. But believe me, the large majority of people appreciate what you have done for the village, both of you, over the so many years. So I want to thank you very much for your hard work, all your major accomplishments, and what you've done for Dobbs Ferry. And I hope that the new guy coming in can still call you once in a while. You certainly mastered the position, so I hope I can on you moving forward. Thanks.
Oh, Bob.
This is indication. Donna gave me the bottle before the meeting.
Hey, Bob, thank you so much for those really kind words, thoughtful words. And
Thank you, Bob.
You are a good man, and I'm so happy, as a lot of people are, that you're going to be the next mayor, and your new team that you'll be bringing in, and the people that you'll be joining up here with some season. It's going to be a great board, and the future's very, very bright. And best of luck to you. Thank you so much for all you've done, because you help make us better. Anybody else care to address the board at all?
30 Maplewood Avenue. I just ran down here because I know this is your last meeting. I was a little late to get here, but I'm so glad I got here to at least thank both of you, Vic and Hartley, for your many years of service, hard work, and believe me, I know Hartley especially, I know how hard it is, and how much work you put in, because I was there, and I feel I did the same thing. I worked very hard, put a lot of time in, and it's, I don't think anybody who has not done this job could understand how much time is necessary if you want to be a good mayor, if you want to do a good job. And forget about all the issues come, issues go. It's what you did, the heart and soul you put into this job that matters. I'm thinking of both of you, but if I could just Hartley for 1 second. Hartley, I will tell you this, I was a pretty long-term mayor, and you're gonna feel void. I can tell you that the week after I left, the first weekend I looked at my wife Gina, and I was on the board 16 years as mayor, almost 5 terms, and I said, Gina, guess what? We can go to a movie tonight. Because really, every weekend there's something going on. If you really love this village and you want to remain part of it, you just never stop. And I know you never did. I know how hard you work, and I just want to thank both of you for all you've done for the Dobbs Ferry. It's spectacular. One final, sort of a funny note. As I said, I felt the void right away. This is a good example. Kevin Plucker was our village attorney for my whole term. Good friend, did a great job. And we talk all the time. Weekends, we call, we talk about issues. And the week after I was no longer the mayor, I had to call him for something. He says, Don who? People forget you quickly, but I will say this. No one's going to forget how much work and time you both put in. I want to thank you and congratulate you for your work.
Well, Mr. Mayor, you have always been a point of reference for me. I've always admired you, and you know, I spoke to Donnie along the way, and Brian and a few others that I really looked up to, and Donnie is an inspiration for anybody that wants to do it right, and was very helpful for me, and really appreciated your support along the way and your input and everything you've done for Dobbs Ferry. Thank you so much, Don.
Yeah, Donnie, thank you once again, too, for your kind words and everything that you've done in the past also. Really appreciate it.
Anybody else? Any more? Okay.
Bueller?
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Don. So we'll move on. Try to get through this pretty quickly. The first matter requiring action is to consider a motion to adopt a resolution amending the village's official map in accordance with New York State Village Law 7-724 to rename Livingstone Avenue as Hamilton Street. Is there a motion? Trustee Golio, second. Trustee Taylor. Action item number 2 is to consider a motion.
You gotta take a
Oh.
vote.
Here, I'm supposed to be slowing down, right, to keep it going. All in favor? And that passes with 6 ayes. Great. Action item number 2 is to consider a motion, this is related to one, a motion to adopt a local law amending Village Code Section 290-14 and 290-28, renaming Livingstone Avenue to Hamilton Street. Is there a motion? Trustee Golio, second. Trustee Taylor, discussion? All in favor? And that passes with 6 ayes. I will note that under the resolutions that are presented, and part of the record is that the resolutions were presented initially with tonight being the date, the effective date, but we're going to move that out 90 days. Okay, so Lee, that's another reason why we want to make absolutely certain there's some GPS things we need to check on. There's some other things that we want to do due diligence on before we actually hang the sign. So there'll be a 90-day period before it goes.
Yeah, and Charlene has done a lot of work to come up with a long checklist of what we need to do to make sure that this happens as smoothly as it can. And that 90 days will give her time to coordinate it in an effective way.
I'm sorry, cost analysis for changing the name of the street? No, we didn't do a cost analysis, and I'll defer to the village administrator, but I really don't think we're incurring any costs here to go. I mean, there's due diligence we have to do, and there's some time involved, but
Yeah, and
it's what we
that's
do.
it. It's the due diligence of everybody in fire, DPW, chief of police, and we intend to have a couple of meetings and inform everybody by letter, so that's it. Oh, and request some signs.
Thanks. Okay, next item is to consider a motion to approve a tax certiorari settlement for 369 Ashford Avenue, Dobbs Ferry, New York, in the total amount of $13,334.14. This is for the tax years prior 2014 and 2015. I think we understand that the school has settled with this property owner.
Yeah, town and school.
The town have both, and so we're in this. We can sit here, continue to challenge, but I mean, this is kind of where we ended up and where we should end up. We don't like giving money back necessarily, but in this case, they won, so.
Yeah, this was a sale that occurred for the Getty station, so it was on an actual number, and our assessment was higher.
So it came in, it's a little bit better than what we might have otherwise had to agree to,
Yeah.
I guess we could say, right? Okay, any questions at all from the board, any concerns? We'll move forward then to, I'll take a motion to approve the tax cert. Is there a motion? Trustee Taylor? No, nobody wants to do this. Trustee Nicole, second. All in favor? That passes with 6 ayes. We're gonna table, action item number 4. This is, related to Chauncey Park. We've discussed this, and we do want to still do some due diligence and go back and see, this is about the village actually taking ownership of the Chauncey Square Park, which is actually the property of of Westchester County. And we do want to do some soil testing before we actually achieve that result or make that transaction. And we're not so sure actually though that we, the village, be the ones paying for this drilling. So we're gonna go back and talk to the county, and we're gonna recheck the site plan approval for Rivertown Square, which had a lot about Chauncey Park, and see if there isn't something in there that we might have missed that would, which would move the payment of anything such as this to the county or somewhere else. So we're gonna table that, and the new board will take this up and look at this one. Action under 5 is to consider a motion to approve audits 3, 4, and 5, and 6 for November 2017, as recommended by the village treasurer. I think we're okay with that, Jeff? Okay, is there a motion? Trustee Russillo, second trustee Taylor, discussion, all in favor? That passes with 6 ayes. Action item number 6 is to consider a motion to appoint Mr. Richard Paterno as a laborer for a salary of, sorry, Rich, we gotta do this, $45,280, effective December 4, 2017. Is there a motion? Trustee Golio, second trustee Sullivan, all in favor? 6 ayes. Welcome aboard, Richard. I'm gonna ask you to come to the mic if you could, and Steve, General Foreman of the DPW, you wanna come and do any introduction, or you're gonna let Richard hang out here on his own? Okay, hi, Richard.
I'd just like to say thank you to you, Mr. Mayor, to the board, and to Stephen. I'm happy to be here, and I look forward to a long career here in Dobbs Ferry.
And you've been here for a little while yourself?
Yes, as a volunteer fireman, for 5 years.
Okay. And you spent a little time here when you were a kid?
Yeah, all throughout the villages. I know Horsley and Dobbs Ferry, Hastings, so
Okay,
I have some time here.
great. Well, very happy to have you on board. Welcome. You've got a great boss. You've got a great crew that you're gonna be working with. So best of luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Good luck. Action item number 7 is to consider a resolution approving the Main Street Streetscape Improvement Project and authorizing execution of the federal aid local project agreement with the New York State Department of Transportation. This is a grant opportunity that became available to the village. Charlene will help me out here a little bit, but basically we're getting in total approximately $370,000 when we kind of do the math on all of this.
It will be $305 from the federal government, and then $60,000 will be our portion of it. $30,000 will be for the preliminary design, and I believe that we can charge some of our time too, so it'd be in-kind services. So we get $305, and that's really the important portion. And this is for the Main Street. There's a lot of improvements that are needed. The trees are, sort of getting into the wires, and all of that will be looked at and will be given to the board to decide, and particularly how to do it.
That's great. And so it is a matching grant. In this case, it's 20% that the village is, but the leveraging here is quite good. And a good use of funds to continue to improve and fix up the downtown in areas that might need it. Great. So if there's no other questions or concerns from the board, I'll take a motion to approve the Main Street Streetscape Improvement Project and authorizing the execution of the federal aid local project agreement with New York State as recommended by the village administrator. Is there a motion? Trustee Cassell, second. Trustee Sullivan, is there any discussion? All in favor? Passes with 6 ayes. Action item number 8 is related, and this is would be a motion to authorize the village administrator to sign an agreement with the Fiona Company LLC in the amount not to exceed $14,000 to administer the Main Street Streetscape federal grant. We have used Fiona, the Fiona Company, before in the past, very successfully. She's done a great job on these grant programs and writing them and then administering them. This is a fairly big one, a fair amount of money involved, and you know, it's good to have people there that know how these things work. Of course, we have a great staff, and Charlene and everybody that's involved with it on the village side is going to know what to do too. But it's you know, it's good to have an expert, and this is what Fiona does, and so.
You hit it straight on the head. Fiona will do it with the New York State Department of Transportation because they're the ones who are really looking at the preliminary work.
Right.
Et
There's red tape, right, always on these things.
Yeah, and it is particularly difficult, especially with the preliminary design, what fits in, what doesn't fit in. So having Fiona there working with the various departments is something that is needed. It will expedite the money also, which is important to all of us.
Great. Any questions or from the board? Then I'll take a motion to approve and authorize the village administrator to sign the agreement with the Fiona Company. Is there a motion? Trustee Cassell, second. Trustee Rosillo, discussion, all in favor? And that passes with 6 ayes. And then action item number 9 is to consider a motion to approve the 2017 holiday parking program from December 2nd to December 31st, which will provide a $10 parking meter card to the first 100 individuals who submit receipts for any purchases in the village of Dobbs Ferry totaling $50 or more, and is limited to 1 parking meter card per person. We've done this each year, I think pretty successfully.
Yes.
The merchants
That's
like
my
it,
understanding, yeah.
shoppers like it, and it's worked pretty well. So that's great. And we have new meters, if anybody didn't notice. We understand that weren't quite programmed properly, but that's getting corrected.
Yes, there have been a few glitches, but there's a few glitches in everything. Please be patient. And we've been receiving calls, and it's good that you called so we'll know, you know, which ones are working, which ones are not. We also are waiting for a video that we'll post on our website to explain how to use these machines. What we have not done yet, but we will do, and we haven't done it for a reason because we have to get used to the new meters, is the app. But the app is coming soon. As soon as you learn one thing, you're going to have to learn another.
Okay, thanks for that. So a little update on the side there, but back to the action item. I'll take a motion to approve the holiday parking program. Trustee Golio, second. Trustee Taylor, discussion, all in favor? And that passes with 6 ayes. That's it. Isn't there anything else we can do? Any other projects we can approve? Come on. We got time. Okay, just some more business here to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of the Board of Trustees for November 14th, which is in our packet. So if everybody's okay, were we all here? Yes. Okay, we were all here, present. So if there aren't any typos or modifications to be made, I'll take a motion to accept and adopt the minutes of November 14, 2017 as presented. Is there a motion? Trustee Rosillo, second. Trustee Golio, discussion, all in favor? Okay, so we adopted those minutes. Well, a couple of announcements. Let me start down here. Nicole, anything at all on your plate?
Yeah, I have a couple of announcements for the seniors. I was remiss last time at our meeting not to thank them, the firehouse and all the work the seniors, Abby and her team do for the Veterans Day celebration, celebrating our great veterans, and the high school for throwing a Thanksgiving dinner party for the seniors, and their holiday party will be at the firehouse on December 19th at 11 a.m. I just wanted to also just second all the comments that were made tonight, because having worked with you guys for the last year, I know how hard and effortless and tireless and thankless this job is, and you really did set up a really high standard, and I'm really grateful to have served with both of you, and I'm glad that we had this opportunity to work together. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Larry?
I don't have any announcements, but I also want to thank you both for everything you've done for the village. It's been an extraordinary effort, and you really have accomplished a lot. We haven't agreed on everything, but you always have sought consensus. You've always looked to think about both sides of things, and you've always looked to move the village forward. And for that, the whole village should be grateful.
Thanks, Larry.
Thanks.
Larry?
I don't have any reports. I've already said everything about Harley. And Vic, thank you. It's been a pleasure serving with you, and I
Likewise.
wish you all the best and get some rest.
Thank you, Donna.
Actually, they're two little kids.
That's true.
Vinnie?
We have the Holiday Hustle, that's on December 10th, and that's sponsored by the Youth Service Council. And that's always a great event after the run, which is for little kids and everybody else. We go up to the firehouse, we have hot chocolate, so it's a great event. It brings, I think you get a discount at certain restaurants downtown, so I highly encourage everyone to sign up for that. It's a new tradition that we have, and I think it's been a great addition to the village. So that's my announcement. I also would like to take the time to thank you too for all the work that you've done. No one's worked any harder than you two. And I came on in 2009, only Donna has served longer. Came on in the middle of Rivertown Square, and I just want to say I appreciate the respect that you guys had for my opinion and for the other side's opinion. You always did seek consensus, and we never made it personal. And we've gone through a lot of projects. We haven't agreed on most of them. But it's never been personal, and I do respect the fact that you've respected my opinion, and we've been a great board because of it. And like I said, no one's worked harder than you two. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Vinnie.
Thank you. Vic, you got anything?
Now,
Let me just make some mundane announcements, and then we'll get to this. Yes, I have them here. So just a few announcements here. December 2nd, this Saturday at 4:30 p.m. will be the traditional Christmas tree lighting. The Dobbs Ferry High School Chorus Octet and the Hudson Valley Singers will be singing carols. They were great last year. There's a rumor that Santa may be there. Is that pretty strong rumor? Okay. Following the tree lighting ceremony, everybody's welcome to walk down to the firehouse on Main Street for refreshments, music, and to have your picture taken with Santa. So we hope to see you all out there on Saturday at 4:30 for the tree lighting ceremony. We need a lot of kids out there too, because we need their energy to, turn all the lights on. We need a lot of energy to do that. The menorah lighting, that's another great thing about this village, is our diversity and how we respect cultures and everybody's background, and it's one of the reasons, if not the main reason, why most of us came to this community in the first place. But the menorah lighting will be on December 13th at 7 p.m. at the corner of Cedar and Main Streets. December 19th, 11 to 1, is the Senior Citizen Holiday Party. That's always a big event at the Main Street Firehouse. And a reminder that there is a collection bin at Village Hall for the 2017 Toys for Tots campaign. Donations of new unwrapped toys will be accepted through December 19th, and Village Clerk Liz Draper really works really hard on this each year. I know she really appreciated it, and it's a really, really good cause. So just a couple of announcements there.
And I did hear, Mayor, that the Santa Claus on the fire truck will be roaming the streets on December 17th.
Okay, great, thanks for that.
Good to know.
Thanks. Okay, anything?
I mean, what else can really be said except, once again, it's really been great and an honor to serve with you guys. It's been 8 fabulous years of learning more about the village than I thought I even knew. But it's been a fantastic experience, and gonna miss you guys. I'll be on my couch with a big thing of popcorn, watching the next meeting and having some laughs, and texting Vinny what time I think it'll be over. But thank you all once again, and Hartley, once again, I can't say enough what the 8 years has meant, you know, working with you, the friendship I think that we've enjoyed, and the leadership that you provided really to push a lot of these things through and really blaze that path. So I thank you once again for everything that you've done.
Thanks, Vic. I'd like to just thank the board members here. It's been an honor to work with all of you, and been a great experience. And I'm so happy and so glad that I had that experience. I want to wish you all the best of luck. I want to say thank you to Charlene and Delicato, who I've gotten to know pretty well. I thought we worked really, really well together. And you know, you're going to be great. You're going to have a new board, and you do a great job, and I really want to wish you all the best of luck. Liz, what a great village clerk. She's backed me up and backs up, will back up the new mayor and has backed up a lot of other mayors before. Gets us all prepared for our meetings, deals with a lot of residents' issues and communication, and Liz, you do a fabulous job. Thank you so much. Jeff Tudor, village treasurer. Jeff is one of the newer members, but he's been here for a while now, and he's really helped to, as the new incoming mayor, Bob McLaughlin, talked about the fiscal condition of the village now being as good as it is. It's been a group effort over a number of years, but Jeff, you've been a huge part of that, and the village is much better off because of you. Thanks. I want to thank Darius Shafazada, who had to leave here. He's the best attorney in Westchester County, period. Dobbs Ferry's really lucky to have him, and I'll miss his advice, although, you know, we did talk a lot, but you know, he's a good man. He's been a great asset for the village. And my buddy here, Vic, it's been a lifelong friendship that's formed, and it's one of the other good things that came out of it. So we've come to the end. We're not leaving with heavy hearts, but you know, we want to wish the new board all the best of luck. Dobbs Ferry's got a very bright future, and Vision Action Progress is going to be signing off now. So, there being no further business, meeting is adjourned.
Thanks again, Minnie. Yeah, likewise. I really mean it. It's